representing the legendary Al Davis, and the team's will to just win, baby. The torch is lit before every game inside of Allegiant Stadium, as these fans hope it indeed drives their Raiders to victory in Vegas. Tonight, we're keeping it in the AFC West between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Daniel Carlson ready to get us started. Monday Night Prime Time is underway. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. And that's going to set them up just beyond their own 20. So now out comes the Charger offense for their initial drive of the game. They're led up by the 6th-year pro out of Oregon. Productive his entire career so far. You and I are both big fans of this guy, Justin Herbert.
Herbert's one of these rare quarterbacks that when he is on, he makes this game look effortless and easy. Part of it's his throwing motion that's crisp and clean with great power. And it's also an athleticism. He'll make you pay with his legs, too. Man, he is just a joy to watch.
Herbert on first down. Tight end reels in the shallow throw.
Herbert's pass. Call it feel, Kate, call it instincts. I don't really care what you call it, but the best QBs, they can sense it. They know when that pressure's coming, and they know how to avoid it. Keep that play alive. Extend it outside of the chaos, and go get your offense a completion.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Herbert from the gun. Has him on the quick hitter. And progress finally halted after he picks up a chunk.
You know, they really love that drag route because he's one of those guys that can count on not only to make the catch, but create after the catch. If they don't close on him quickly, he can add a lot of yards before someone tracks him down.
On the carry, this is Najee Harris. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run.
So close to a big loss of yards for those guys up front. 1 second sooner, they got a tackle behind the line, but a stop to celebrate nonetheless.
Well, nothing doing on the last run. It's 2nd and 10. Harris once more. Excellent play defensively as they get to him behind the line. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
There is no thought needed from him. He has been doing this so long, dating back to college and high school. Those instincts, and they come at you with a capital I. Identify that run, fire downhill, and get home in the backfield before that play could get started.
This drive in some serious trouble. It's 3rd and 12. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Throw left side, grabbed by Allen. It's a pickup of 26. And it brings up an LA first down.
First down, Chargers.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about 2 things, separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks, that's the trust, and then they got to believe that that separation can create the big play down the field.
70 yards there, that brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd down.
Staying on the ground with Harris. And he's taken down with some quality yardage on that play.
He's taken down at the 17-yard line. A gain of 12. First down, Los Angeles.
That right there, that will make the coaches happy. He didn't just get the first down, but got a healthy chunk of bonus yards afterwards.
First down from the red zone. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line.
Complete to number 15, Brad McConkey. A 6-yard pickup brings up second down at the Raiders' 10-yard.
And that's going to do it for our first quarter here on Monday Night Primetime. Couple of zeros on the board right now. We'll return to Allegiant Stadium right after this. Chargers ball as we get back for the second, and they are thinking points. Shotgun snap to Herbert. Has it down close. And he's going to be hauled down at the 2. That sets up first and goal.
I'm sure, Coach, the play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
This offense in position now. It's first and goal. Throwing now, Herbert. And that's going to be brought in. Touchdown, L.A.
Touchdown.
The Chargers get the game's first points here in the second. All right, so we're already into the second quarter, Brock, but that was just their opening drive of this football game. Fortunately, they did get a touchdown out of it.
Yep, and if opportunities with the ball are going to be as infrequent as they've been to start this game, you got to make each and one of those chances count. In that area, they are a perfect 1-for-1.
Now it's Cameron Dicker on for the extra point. The point after splits the upright. And they add one on to their first touchdown of the contest.
Raiders nothing.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away.
For the Chargers.
His return starts at the 5. And he's brought down just inside the 25. So out head the Raiders for their first possession. And leading them out, you and I have both covered this guy, Brock, a veteran drafted back in 2013, coming off a career high in passing yards last season. It's Geno Smith.
Well, we've had to wait until the second quarter to finally see him and his offense out there. And we're going to see what they have in them here, Kate, in a hurry. Down a touchdown, with how long they've been sitting over there, I know the feeling. You're chomping at the bit and likely going to be pretty aggressive with the football.
First down, Smith to throw. Caught. Trey Tucker makes the play. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line.
A gain of 10 yards.
They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down.
Vegas, first down.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
That's taken in nicely by Brock Bowers. It's a 23-yard pickup on the play. And that's good for a Raiders first.
It's a gain of 23 yards.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage. Sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
First carry here for Ashton Genty. Trying to make it happen, but no luck. This goes backwards on first down.
You know, Kate, during draft season, I was talking to an NFL GM, and he said, you know what, in time, we're going to realize tackles for loss are just as big a deal as sacks. Sacks get so much of the popularity. Tackles for loss, when you knock that offense backwards, I promise you, in time, we'll be keeping a closer eye on plays like that one.
They motion Tucker over left. Out of the gun, here's Smith. Completed over the middle. And finally, they're able to stop this play from getting any more yards.
It's a gain of 31 yards. That's good for another Las Vegas. First and
So it's
10
the
at
2-minute warning
11-yard
here
line.
from Allegiant. It's the Raiders looking at 1st and 10. Genty from the gun. And he's tackled with markers down. This one should be on the defense. Easy call for the officials there. He was offsides at the snap, and that's going to cost him.
Still first down.
A bit jumpy across the way there, and that halves the distance ahead of him on 1st down. Running it after the penalty. And he gets in. Touchdown! The Raiders earn the chance to tie it before halftime. No doubt about that one, Brock. They softened that defense up with that lengthy opening series, and then the front just couldn't stand up to the run as they reached the end zone.
Yeah, the numbers tell you, kind of just like baseball, you love home runs, you love explosive plays, but when you can play small ball and you can keep that defense gasping on the field, you can often run it right down their throats in the red zone.
Daniel
Carlson on for the PAT. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Raiders respond with 7 of their own to tie it here early.
7.
So we've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. Here's a return from the 7. And in the end, he's able to get it to about the 25-yard line before he's hauled down. The Chargers are being led back out on offense by Justin Herbert here. And that last drive, no answer for what they were doing through the air, so expect some tighter coverage this time around. LA offense all set. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Here's Herbert. And his perfect start is over. And that's the first one of his throws to wind up incomplete.
Hey, Kate, I know it's unrealistic to expect a 100% completion rate from anywhere on the field. But in this close, you really shouldn't be missing too many throws. Those need to be borderline automatic.
2nd and 10 now. To the right and pulled in by McConkey. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
Well, bless his heart. Where some quarterbacks look off double coverage and check it down, this guy just attacks it head on. And why wouldn't he if he's capable of beating it for that kind of result?
Herbert now off the play fake. Throwing the out route complete. They get 13 on the pickup. And the Chargers will have a first.
The smartest pass catchers I've ever been around, they know how to set up an outcut beautifully. They recognize when they have leverage, how to sell the deep route, and then boom, they just break it out as if it's nothing.
Man in motion, headed right. 1st and 10, Herbert. This is cut downfield by Allen. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down.
A gain of 29 yards. 1st down, Chargers.
No way, you're kidding me! What are you doing?
I may love watching a great thrower, but I love watching a well-done route too, Kate. Make that guy think you're trying to stack him only to drop your hips and cut right inside. Some good work to help reset those chains.
They give to Harris from the gun. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that first down play. Now we're going to get an offensive timeout. So that's their first.
Brings up second down.
They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. First down run netted them nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. He tucks it and takes off. And he's brought down after a great gain. That's going to set up 1st and goal. LA uses a timeout here. It's 2nd. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. Might be trying to power this across, Brock. They've got 3 tight ends out there. It's 1st and goal. Harris. Can't push it across. They make the stand, and it looks like they might have stopped him a little bit behind the line, too.
Taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
That is teaching tape for a linebacker. Read, react, and finish.
Thankfully, not a big loss last play. They're at the 2, 2nd and goal. He's going to be caught by his running back, Harris.
That defense, it'll give up that completion every time. They don't just like it, they love it. Because it creates a fun little race between everybody coming downhill to go make that tackle, or in this case, run him right out of bounds.
From the 5-yard line after the loss, 3rd and goal. Shotgun snap, they're going to throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Los Angeles. The Chargers take the lead just before halftime. Well, Brock, you know this better than most. Sometimes these dudes can be a quarterback's best friend, finding the tight end in the end zone for 6.
And it really has been that way for decades when you think about it, Kate. From John Mackey to Tony Gonzalez to Travis Kelce. The position can be such a mismatch when you're throwing for the end zone.
Cameron
Dicker on now for the PAT. Extra point set right down the middle. And the Chargers break that tie and now lead by 7.
Raiders 7.
Time left for maybe a return plus a play here as they send this away. So no return this time. Let's see if they run a play or if they just decide to kneel out the half.
At their own 35-yard line.
They've got 1st and 10, Brock, but time for maybe 2 plays at most if they even want to try anything. Looking to throw. Short pass brought in. And he picks up a nice chunk before the stop is made. All right, they're going to call a timeout. 3 seconds left. That means 1 last play in this half. Here comes the final play of our first half. Back to throw it. And he stopped almost immediately after that catch. He's down at the 30. So a 1-possession game, Brock, after our first 2 quarters. Now let's throw it over to our pal Scott Hansen. He's got our halftime report. As always, a hat tip to our buddy Scott Hansen for his hard work there during the break, as we're happy to welcome you all back for the start of our third quarter. Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Returning it from the 4. He's stopped on the run back at the 27. The Vegas offense ready to start this third quarter. They've got a chance to tie this up here as they trail 14-7. Raiders just about ready for this one. It's 1st and 10. This play is going to be a give to Genty. He's caught just as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard. It's going to be 2nd down.
He was brought down at the 28.
One thing I could say positive about the execution of that play is at least he didn't go backwards.
Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9. Smith. Chased out to his right. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down.
Geno Smith.
He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
16 yards.
Well, there was no sense in taking a risk down the field when a first down was just a run away. They'll get to reset now and figure out just how they want to attack a new set of downs.
Ball on the 45, 1st and 10. They go play action. Here's Smith. That's grabbed inside the 30. He picks up 28 on the play. And that's a Vegas first down.
Hey, let's get those next-gen stats out here, Kate. See just how far he had to run between the snap of the football and when he finally got the throw. Did a beautiful job of settling down into zone coverage, even though it took him a whole lot of distance to get there.
That one stopped right at the line for no gain. This is going to be 2nd down.
Brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard brings up 2nd down at the Chargers' 28-yard line.
Shotgun give here to Genty. And whatever they were trying to do there is not going to work. Defenders all over it, so they take him down for a loss.
Tackled back at the 30-yard line.
Hey, don't get me wrong, Kate. Every defensive guy, they watch tape in their own ways. But linebackers, well, they're a little bit like quarterbacks. They got to develop that sixth sense by watching that tape so they can diagnose and get home in a hurry like he just did.
Smith on 3rd and long. And he just gets rid of this one, but unfortunately, that means 4th down coming up.
You know, Kate, that was one of those situations where you hear a quarterback having a clock, right? You know, and he had enough time in the pocket, but then it was like, okay, time is running out, and I got to do something. He did not force a throw and risk a pick. Instead, he just got rid of it and cut his losses.
47-yard attempt.
Carlson's kick is good. And it's dropped back down now to a 4-point game.
Nice to pay off any drive with some points and able to trim the lead slightly there the first time out in the second half. And even if they can't get into pole position, they just want to keep this thing close.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. We are back and about set to begin our second half. We've got a good one here. They've cut the lead to 4 as they send it away. Return coming from the 6. This makes it up to the 25. The Charger offense making its way to the field. And that lead they've got, Brock, they are never going to have to worry about losing it if they keep scoring every time they touch this football.
Is that how it works?
It surprisingly is. You know, if you have the lead and you don't lose it, you win.
And that type of start, well, you wanted all 17 games of a season, but you're lucky to get it more than once.
Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. Going to Harris to start the half. And that's good for a gain of 5. Devin White hauls him down.
A humble 5 to 6 yard gain on the ground. Not a huge gain, not a game-changing play by any means. But one that keeps you on schedule and takes some of the starch out of that front 7.
1st down run, nabs him 5. Now 2nd and 5. On the play fake, it's Herbert. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
It's looking like a dreaded 3-and-out offensively, but listen, if you can't keep your quarterback clean and upright, you're going to need some magic, big-time magic, to convert on this 3rd and long.
3rd and 11.
Wonder what's in the playbook here as they come up on 3rd and 11. Herbert from the gun. This is hauled in by Harris. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Running behind center with Harris. And that carry only nets 1 on the plunge up the gut.
I've talked to running backs over the years, Kate, and the transition from the college game to the pro game. They'll tell you, there's just times in the NFL you got to run into darkness. You run into a lot of bodies. Perfect example of that in the 1st down play.
Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Caught deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! And they retain possession, so that's positive, but that's the end of them, Brock. They've lost yardage on that fumble. Almost the impact play this defense was searching for, but they could only get half the job done, partner. Fumble forced, but they couldn't recover.
I'll tell you what else it forces, though. That coordinator, that play caller on the other side, now got a little bit of doubt about his ball handlers. Got to have better ball security than that.
Again, he's under pressure, and he goes down. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Loss of 6 yards.
Kate, the game wasn't on the line with that series, but don't tell the defense because they brought the urgency and juice like it was. Getting the sack, setting up 4th down, well, it picks everybody up on that sideline. And now their offense gets a chance in a 1-score game.
So on 4th down, here's J.K. Scott on to punt it away for the Chargers. And that fair catch corralled just beyond the 25-yard line.
The Raiders take over first.
And following that return, we've got an injured player down there. He'll receive some assistance as we step aside. The Las Vegas offense is set. 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Smith to throw. Blocked by his back.
Some certainly do it better than others, Kate, but every running back in the league today has got to do just that. You cannot be a one-dimensional back in the league anymore. You can't. You got to be able to handle your business, both toting the ball as a runner, and really importantly as a check-down outlet on short throws.
From the gun, Smith. And he's going to be brought down at the 42. 6 yards on the play and enough for a first. We're down to the 2-minute warning here in Vegas.
First down.
Raiders needing 4 points.
42-yard line.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Shotgun snap to Smith. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete.
I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or he just had a surprise break in concentration. It's so unusual at this level to see a drop pass unless there's a hit involved.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Here he is to throw. Fits it through the middle. And now the Raiders call for the first of their timeouts. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
And a Raider first down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. Giving this to Genty. He gets him inside the 40. That's a gain of about 9 yards on the play.
Genty, ball carrier. He's taken down at the 33-yard line. A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
First down carry got him 9 yards. Here comes 2nd and 1. They kick the running back in motion. Finds him over the middle. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a first down.
Sure nice to see them looking for their tight ends in the passing game. Such great size to have out there. It really forces defenses to try to find a way to defend them along with everybody else.
We'll look to throw it. And no look there, and that throw falls to the ground.
Intended for Jacoby Myers.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
The clock has fallen into its final minutes. Here comes 2nd and 10. And off to Genty. Not much space available there. Maybe 2. That brings up 3rd down.
Tuli Pulotu on the stop. A gain of 2 brings up 3rd and 7.
Motion, chase deep.
Looking to throw it. Looking end zone, but touchdown denied. Knocked away, incomplete.
As I watch practices today, Kate, both college and professionally, one thing is abundantly clear. Teams spend so much more time in the red zone. They know it's the money zone, and defensively, if you can force incompletions and knock it away and leave teams for field goals, you got a great chance to win.
Here he goes. Got to have this on 4th down. And that's a touchdown. The catch is made, and they lead just before the end of this game. Absolutely clutch score there, Brock, as they take the lead here in the final minutes.
Incredible execution. The moment not too big for any of them, and Kate, they cashed in when it really mattered.
Pretty important PAT here, Brock, to make it a field goal game. And he shakes out the pressure to nail the point after, and now an opposing field goal would only tie this game.
17, Chargers 14.
Carlson all set now for the kickoff. Has this at the 6. And this drive will start inside the 25.
The Chargers take over.
The Chargers offense getting set to take over. They find themselves down here in the 4th after that touchdown. This game could end up depending on how they respond right here. Starting out with an empty backfield, Brock. Here they come. 1st and 10. Back to throw. Completed over the middle. Timeout called by the Chargers. They're first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
Los Angeles.
In quite the time crunch here, Brock, but still 2 timeouts to burn. It's 1st down. Setting up to pass. Hits him on the out route. Now with just 10 seconds left in our game, we've got a timeout.
It's a gain of 10. 1st down, Chargers.
They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Herbert. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. And with 4 seconds remaining, they're going to take a timeout.
It's a gain of 5.
Sometimes when you're just looking to move it forward, get some small yards on the throw, quarterback's best friend, security blanket. And when it's a big old tight end, that's an extra bonus.
Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. One final shot here. This is for the ball game. And this will not be caught, so their last chance heave to the end zone ends up on the ground. This game's over. The Black Hole can take that party over to the Vegas Strip as the Raiders win at home. And there was no easing up. It took some white knuckling until the very end, but their defense carried that small lead through to the finish line as they escape with a victory. That does it for another broadcast of the NFL on EA Sports. With my partner in the booth, Brock Heward, I'm Kate Scott. The Raiders winners as we bid you farewell from Las Vegas.